After narrowly escaping my way out of the hell that is the YouTube monetization system, I, along with my persona, Taboo, that random boss from Brawl that no one probably remembers anymore, that I only made as my channel mascot because he looked kinda cool, have made it out alive to bring you a strategy guide on the first DLC character as part of the Challenger Pack for the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Here's everything you need to know to master Joker from Persona 5.
3, 2, 1, go!
As the old saying goes, you should never bring a knife to a gunfight. So Joker has brought both, bringing a knife and a gun to aid him in battle for long-ranged attacks and fast and effective combos. And when the right conditions are met, he can call upon his persona Arsene. Arsene is the physical manifestation of Joker's rebellious spirit, increasing the range and power of Joker's regular attacks by attacking alongside him, and enhancing Joker's special attacks to the point that they become entirely different moves. Joker also gains a slight boost in ground speed and airspeed in this state. Arsene is unleashed by filling the Rebellion gauge, which can be achieved by taking damage, successfully parrying moves using Rebel's Guard, which we'll get to later, and by doing absolutely fuck all. Yep, Joker is so freaking rebellious that all he needs to do is just stand there, and the gauge will eventually fill all by itself. Just watch. Any second now.
A few minutes later.
Arsene!
Ha, see? All it took was 3 whole minutes in real life. So if you happen to have a very patient opponent and have enough time left in the actual match, then I think you have a very legitimate strategy on your hands. When you unleash Arsene, the gauge will slowly begin to deplete over a span of 30 seconds, during which Joker can use the full capacity of Arsene. However, if Joker gets hit at any point during the activation, the gauge will deplete faster. Hence, Joker players will need to make sure they make the most of Arsene whilst avoiding taking any further damage. For this guide, I will mention Arsene only if he significantly changes the way a move works. If I don't mention him, you can assume that the move simply gains a boost in damage and range when Arsene is unleashed. Joker's jab attack utilizes his knife for a triple knife strike. This move comes out fast but ends slow, so you want to avoid using this as a primary attack and more as a means of covering yourself, such as after a whiffed move. The first hit in particular can also be used to effectively jab lock your opponent. Joker's dash attack is a seriously fun move to use, comprising of 2 quick kicks, one after another like Zero Suit's side smash. Its main advantage is that it's fast, making for a great burst attack. Even if the first kick doesn't connect, the second kick often will, thanks to the outstretched hitbox. And with Arsene, it gains a huge boost in kill power, becoming one of Joker's most potent kill moves. Joker's side tilt is a unique 2-part stab that can be angled either upwards or downwards. Normally, angling move doesn't do much for its effectiveness, but in this case, it can actually help in spacing, which is what you'd primarily be using this move for. It's also useful for crossing up, however, it has no combo follow-up. Joker's up tilt is a neat little twirl of his knife that he can use to carry opponents into the air. While it looks pretty cool, you'll almost never want to use it by itself. As an anti-air, it's pretty lackluster, and its horizontal range sucks ass. This is almost exclusively used for combos, particularly after a down tilt, as it props the opponent directly into its path. With Arsene, the move gains an electrical component, increasing the hit stun and damage of the move, making it easier to connect combos. Joker's down tilt is similar to Cloud's, able to pop up enemies directly into the air for combos. Another good burst option, but like his up tilt, shines when implemented in the middle of combos, like after a falling neutral air. Joker's neutral air has him spiral downwards with his knife outstretched. It's slow to begin with, but boasts loads of cross-up potential and edge guard capability, thanks to the long active frames and ability to auto-cancel into the ground. If your opponent is attempting to recover low, running directly off and using your neutral air can be a good way to throw them off, as you should have no trouble recovering. With Arsene, the move becomes even more potent, as Arsene is able to cover Joker's blind spots, creating a whirling hitbox that is very difficult to challenge. Joker's forward air comprises of 2 swift kicks, At first glance, it doesn't look like anything special, but that's where you would be terribly wrong. By itself, it's a useful offstage attack that can be used to challenge an opponent's recovery. It's also an excellent combo tool. It can be followed after a down throw or up throw. And if you cancel the first hit of the attack by fast falling, you will almost always prop your opponent into the air directly in front of you. Propping your opponent up in this way allows for far more freedom. You can follow with a back air, neutral air, side special, dash attack, or even another forward air. And if you fast fall the second forward air, you can continue your combo even further depending on the damage of your opponent. If they're at mid%, they'll usually fall directly in front of you, where you can follow with a jab, down tilt, or a grab. If they're at high%, this will actually cause a knockdown, which you can jab lock and follow with a down smash for a kill confirm. These still apply when Arsene is unleashed, as Arsene's attack only occurs during the second hit of the attack. But it does massively boost its kill power, particularly when used offstage. Joker's back air is another excellent aerial tool for Joker. It's his fastest aerial attack, as you can execute 2 of them in a single full hop. This makes it great for mix-ups, as you can bait out your opponent with a back air and then catch them with a forward air in the same jump. If used near the ground, it can set up for combos, such as if your opponent is below 10%, you can follow with a dash attack or side special, and if they're slightly above 10%, you can create a tech chase opportunity, which can lead to a jab lock if they miss their tech. In the air, it's great for spacing, and can follow into a grab if you're quick enough. With Arsene, it becomes a formidable kill move too. Joker's down air has the unique function of always sending your opponent in the direction you are facing, regardless of how you hit them. This means that the same combos for his back air also apply for his down air, as well as a few new ones, like down air to gun being a true combo. Still, the move is missing something. You know what it's missing? It's missing Arsene's foot! Yes, with Arsene unleashed, Joker's down air becomes a spike, and an incredibly lethal one at that too. Its sweet spot can be a bit tricky to land though, not helped by the fact that Joker himself can knock the opponent away with his own knife, which is just embarrassing. But when it does land, it can true combo into up air or up smash for a devastating kill confirm. And Joker's up air, where his reputation as a Phantom Thief really shines through, because he straight up stole Sheik's up air. And if you're familiar at all with Sheik's up air, it works exactly the same way. Its primary function being to continue combos by using its drag down property. Drag down is the ability of a move to drag an opponent downwards with your character. As we've seen with Joker's forward air, this can be useful for extending combos, but in this case, Joker can use it to get back to the ground faster, so that he can go for a re-grab, or extend the combo further with up special. When re-grabbing, make sure to go for up throw, as that's the best way to set up a drag down up air. With Arsene, these drag down setups still work. Only Arsene will follow with an uppercut, making the move more of a combo ender. But boy, what a combo ender it is, easily killing off the top in the 80% range. Joker's smash attacks are the weakest aspects of his moveset. Since they utilize his knife, they lack in range, and they don't have the best kill power either. That is, until you unleash Arsene. Better range, better kill power, better smash attacks that you do not want to be on the receiving end of. These basically become your main kill move for Joker, with his forward smash capable of killing in the 60% range. And that wasn't even at the very edge of the stage. What the fuck? Let's shift our focus to Joker's specials now, starting with Rebel's Guard, the main way of building the Rebellion gauge aside from directly taking damage or standing around doing fuck all. It works less like a counter and more like active super armor, reducing the damage of any attack by 40% whilst building Rebellion gauge the more attacks he is able to tank. In fact, as long as Rebel's Guard is able to detect a hit, it can be held indefinitely. And while it doesn't act like a traditional counter, if you let go of the B button at the moment an attack or combo ends, Joker is able to perform a mini AoE attack that can knock opponents backwards. With this, Rebel's Guard is essentially able to completely neutralize rapid jabs, a single rapid jab often being enough to fill the Rebellion gauge by itself. As you can imagine, being able to counter literally any attack except a grab makes it extremely versatile. both on the ground and in the air. Heck, very few characters even have air grabs, so you can use it as a very effective means of covering your fall. Just make sure you have plenty of space between your opponent, as there's significant lag to this move, especially when used in the air. When you finally do unleash Arsene, Joker's down special goes from a sort of counter to a true counter attack, able to counter both melee and projectile attacks. Tetrakan being your physical counter and Makarakan being your projectile counter. Both are exceptionally powerful with fairly forgiving active frames, making it a reliable, versatile counterattack for any situation. Moving on to Joker's up special, we have the Grappling Hook, acting as both a tether recovery and combo tool for Joker, as it has the additional function of being able to grab enemies out of the air directly towards him. Let's first talk about how it acts as a recovery, because this is no ordinary tether recovery. It's arguably the best tether recovery in the entire game, allowing Joker to go in ridiculously deep to challenge an opponent's recovery and still make it back to the ledge somehow. Another thing I notice about this move is how forgiving it is as a recovery. You don't even need to be directly in line of sight of the actual move. You can be well below or even a little away from the stage and you'd still probably be able to latch on. Now let's talk about how it acts as a combo tool, and we're going to bring in the drag down up air we talked about previously. Let's take a typical combo route, falling nair to down tilt to up tilt. Now it looks like you should be able to use your grappling hook here, right? Wrong. Technically you can, but the problem is that it's not a true combo, and your opponent has time to jump away or air dodge. And so by using your drag down up air instead, you can create the perfect position and angle to re-grab them using your grappling hook to continue your combo. With Arsene, the move goes from an amazing recovery to a frickin' bonkers recovery, unleashing the wings of rebellion. Joker is able to reach insane new heights, allowing him to recover even lower to the blast zone than his grappling hook. Now what it gains in height, it loses in combo potential, as it obviously does not have the secondary function of being a combo tool like the grappling hook does. In fact, the amount of times I've been in the middle of a sweet combo and then executing the up special thinking I would get the grappling hook, only to realize I had unleashed Arsene at the last minute. Damn it, Arsene! Let's continue with Ahar. With a quick flick of the fingers, Joker sends a darkness-infused projectile that upon impact causes damage over time for a total of 13%. The angle at which this move travels is favourable for many of Joker's setups. The angle is also advantageous for defensive reasons, because if an enemy reflects your projectile, as long as you have some space between you, the reflected Ahar will almost always land short. This makes it a very safe spacing tool, on top of the fact that Joker can hover like some kind of magical fucking genie when he uses it in the air. Another neat little trick you can do is if you hit them with Ahar at mid% and you're fast enough, you can actually grab them before they're able to react, creating a unique approach option. And shit, we haven't even gotten started on Agion. What drugs was Sakurai on when he came up with this move, I will never know, because it's easily the most broken Arsene boosted move Joker has in his toolset. Instead of disappearing upon hitting the ground, Agion now creates a vortex of dark energy, launching opponents further upon contact and dealing greater damage over time. It also travels faster and further as the move now starts from Arsene's hand as opposed to Joker's. This makes it ideal for edge guarding, as connecting the move at the very edge of the stage will cover just about every get-up option except for jump get-up and a well-timed regular get-up. What you lose, however, is the combo potential of the move, as the new trajectory will no longer connect with Joker's usual setups. But who needs that when you can just spam your way to victory, right? And let's close things off with Joker's trademark Gun, a versatile special move that comes in 3 different modes, which I'm going to call Gun, Gun Wheel, and Gun Rain. Gun has Joker pull out, a gun, which can fire indiscriminately at his foe, with bullets causing opponents to flinch the closer he is to his opponent. He can roll in between each shot up to 5 times, which actually affects the speed of your regular rolls as well. While this is a pretty cool technique, you are forced to face the same direction you initially fired at, making it a little easy to punish. You can make up for this with gun sliding, a unique tech that I went over in a previous video that I suggest you check out if you want a more in-depth breakdown on it, but essentially it enables Joker to slip and slide in between shots when used close to the ground. Speaking of which, gun roll works in the air. Don't forget to use this in a pinch as Joker lacks a horizontal recovery, and this can make for a unique substitute. Something I should mention that I'm not sure a lot of people are even aware of is that the rate of fire does actually change based on how you press the B button. It's kind of hard to show visually, so I'll just let you hear for yourself. Listen closely. This is if you hold the B button. And this is if you mash the B button. Another unique property about this move is that it isn't treated as a projectile, but more like a disjointed hitbox similar to Bayonetta's bullet darts. You notice here that Joker's own counter registers gun as a melee attack, not a projectile. Weird, right? What this means is that gun is totally immune to reflex. And let's not forget that Joker can also jab lock with the first hit of it too. Anyway, let's get on with the two other modes. Gunwheel has Joker shoot all around him in a complete circle. Joker can shoot for as long as he likes and is able to move freely throughout the move. The uses for this move are a little limited though, as it is less reliable at gimping than his neutral layer, and it tends to leave him quite vulnerable. Still, you can't deny it looks badass as hell though. Gun Rain, the second mode, is definitely far more useful. You can perform it on the ground immediately after firing your gun, causing Joker to hop into the air and rain a hail of bullets beneath him. This can be used near the ledge for edge guarding, and can true combo if you land your first shot at point blank, although it's a little inconsistent and you're left vulnerable upon landing. This cannot be said for the aerial version of it though. When done in the air, Joker can fire indefinitely like Gunwheel directly below him, which can be seriously troublesome for some characters' recoveries. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no ending lag on this at all, because you can almost immediately transition into any attack on the ground almost seamlessly. This makes it very useful for covering your fall. Of course, the coverage is very narrow. You pretty much need to be directly on top of your opponent or you will miss. With Arsene, Joker's firepower and fire rate increase tenfold, able to cause flinching at a much further distance whilst dealing more damage. And let's put a close to this guide with Joker's final smash, the all-out attack. Joker is a ruthless combo fighter, relying on his low launching attacks and unique setups to create combo opportunities and tech chases. He excels at punishing opponents who recover low, thanks to his own excellent recovery and unique edge guarding options. He can completely shut down characters who are reliant on multi-hitting attacks with Rebel's Guard, allowing him to unleash Arsene, where he loses his combo-centric playstyle, opting for brute force and power. With Arsene at his side, he can space, shoot, and slash his way to victory with careful spacing and well-placed punishes. Although he can be a bit too over-reliant on Arsene to land stocks, as without Arsene, he has significantly stunted kill power. So go on, and steal the hearts of your foes with Joker. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate it. If you have any tips and tricks of your own or felt I missed anything, let me know in the comments below and who you want to see next. Also, I did not forget throws. I just wanted to streamline and incorporate throws grab combos organically. But I will definitely mention grabs and throws in the future for characters with more unique grabs. Of course, please like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Even consider supporting me on Patreon. A lot of the things I'm doing, especially with the guides now, I'm actually hired an editor. His name's Slasher, great guy. Thanks for all the help, Slasher. He's been helping me out with recording, and I pay him out of my own pocket, so it'd be really nice to get some support for that. And right now I don't have any tiers or anything special to offer you guys, but I'll probably be looking into that later down the line. Anyways, take care, and I'll see you on the battlefield.